I must admit that I expected Duncas to be more angered when he learned what Constantine had done.
I think his god told him before we even arrived. And he is a wise and patient man. In another context, he would have been an amazing priest.
I almost regret not choosing him to become High King.
Desarde, what can I do for you?
Admiral.
Yeah. My men's... I'm sorry, Desarde. I wish you good luck. Desarde.
I need to be going. Until we meet again, Admiral. Commander Torsten. I investigated and discovered the identity of the person who orchestrated the attacks on Hikmet.
I was certain you would eventually find out who. You never give up. So, who is the bastard responsible for all these deaths?
My cousin, Constantine.
Your cousin? You have some nerve. What do you want? For me to declare war on you?
No. You must understand that the congregation had no hand in this. Constantine acted alone. Ever since he fell ill, he hasn't been himself. And who knows?
These attacks would be his revenge.
I don't know. But I know that he performed a native ritual bonding him to the island several times. Each of these rituals gave him a great... Now he's threatening to target... And if he succeeds...
You come here with your bizarre tales about magic, ritual. Probably expected me to send my troops out far away from my city. For all I know, you might very well still be acting on your cousin's behalf.
If that were the case, why would I have come to your rescue when the creatures attacked you? I could have just let them overwhelm you and your city would have fallen. But despite your treason, I already managed to convince other factions to support me. If we want to have a chance at saving this island and its...
I am in your debt, it's true. And since I don't want you to think I'm ungrateful, I hope that it will prove useful to you. My men will never follow you in battle. They don't trust you. Sorry.
That is regrettable. I must go.
Naturally. I won't want to hold you back.
Your Eminence, I salute you.
Sir,
Do you remember I thought that someone must have been responsible for the attacks you...
yes, you thought...
And I was right.
You're hesitating.
Indeed. As the...
Does this mean that the congregation has decided to wage war on us? And thanks to which obscure...
Constantine acted alone. And as for the way he manipulated these creatures...
Absolutely. And it is said that his recovery was the result of a rather... Are you telling me that your cousin has made a pact with the demons of this island?
Something like that. But the power he received from this made him thirsty, thus gaining control over the Guardians.
But why attack us?
His thirst for power is making him want to control the island entirely by himself. And I know that for this purpose he will soon attack the natives' main... I won't stand a chance against all the creatures he's taken control of. Others have already joined me. Having a common enemy should help us forget all the differences that have been opposing us.
You expect us to participate in a combined attack to protect an insular sanctuary. I hope you realize that for me to accept, I would have to be insane. Or have full trust in you.
Are you implying that you may change your mind?
If you accept to deal with the problem I entrusted you with...
Very well. I will take care of it even though we don't have much time.
I'll be glad to talk about it with you again once it's done. Anything else?
Your Eminence, have you...
For that, anything?
I must leave you.
Naturally, Your Excellency.
What an astounding place.
It is the village of Eden the Cardinal Mother told you about. The place where natives and priests live together. I must admit that I'm curious to see it.
All that's left to do is to find Father Eustinius.
welcome,
Thank
and
The Mother Cardinal has asked me to investigate the theft of these tablets you discovered.
that's excellent. If she supervised, you should find her a bit further in the village.
Who are the suspects?
The heretical, they must have wanted to please.
How could they have learned of the...
Perhaps the demon, they are.
I must leave you. Goodbye.
May the enlightened all...
I wonder what really happened when the missionaries came to settle here.
It all seems a bit too convenient. If we find out some information about the history of Eden, maybe we'll change our view on things. The theft of the relic is probably not a coincidence. Hello, can
Of course.
I talk to Father...
Indeed.
Whom do you...
Some...
Where...
But you can...
I imagine...
If I...
What?
I am the one who...
Thank you. I will let you work. Can I ask you...
Of course.
Thank you. I will let you work. Have you been...
Too much.
You talk...
I may.
If you
You... How are you...
When I got it, I would.
Of course. According...
Indeed.
What can
No,
you say?
I have
Do you...
not
well,
of all.
do you think...
Was in the name of some. As there will now.
I was not... I will leave you to your work. Goodbye. Can I ask you some...
Of course.
The mother... Are you...
And...
What was the...
And then I said...
Were there any...
You would be...
Thank you. I will let you work.
Hello.
Hello.
What?
I've heard of... Tell me...
They were what?
The
As
prince...
some.
One of...
Our but
What happened?
they so
Aren't you...
no,
You're off...
but
I have to go.
like so many.
I'm...
Tell me...
The and so...
Why...
To, if I...
How...
Oh,
And how...
Where are-
There's something strange here.
it often takes... I am sure...
I must leave you. Goodbye.
May the enlightened all...
I knew that the story would be more complex than we'd been told.
I find it regrettable that my colleagues aren't more honest when it comes to history. Nothing solid has ever been built on lies.
Either way, the resentment here is strong enough for a theft to occur.
Brother,
It's...
so
They... He...
You have.
I believe you do.
Once
Or
if
I have to go.
like so.
Listen,
No,
there's
if you...
the only.
if you...
Here's the place that Vindwal indicated. The exiles must be near.
These people have been banished already. There's no need to add death to their list of punishments. Let's try not to fight them.
Don't worry, we'll be discreet.
In that case, we should avoid taking the left path. If I remember correctly what that woman said, it's booby-trapped.
There, we found them. Now all that's left to do is to return to Eden. What are you doing here? I think that would...
You're...
In
you
it,
should-
this...
but that-
will-
I'm
I might...
not-
You're...
in the-
Thank...
Oh, there you are.
What's
After him.
I'm not.
Oh.
And this man is
The blood.
Have you no matter this week?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And
I need.
Oh,
He has.
yes.
Thank. I have to go.
like so many other.
Here,
I have.
Oi,
One.
Anna,
Do you?
here. Make him drink this remedy and
Thank. You what?
I'm there.
Thank. I do not remember there being a path in this place the last time we came.
You're perfectly right, my child. This passage must have been cleared by the expedition. We should follow it.
Hey,
You
how brother,
but
you must make
brother,
if you want.
I had
Before-
what
For what?
the
With it?
but our
Brother?
yes, I'm
And-
alone
and
in
I'm-
of course.
Brother? Can you...
and we but I'm
how?
they mu-
Brother?
and let's
That's... We have...
and
the,
we will so
I can...
well, but I will to get
This man's skull is sunken, but he doesn't look like he was in a fight. Could he have fallen?
That is unlikely. Look, my child. The wound is located at the back of the skull. I regret to say that, in my opinion, he was struck from behind. With a mace, most likely.
This man's death was no accident, nor was it linked to any predator attack. It was caused by a violent strike to the back of the skull with a mace. And it didn't take place here. The marks surrounding the body show that it was moved, most likely to make it seem like he fell to his death. This man's skull is sunken, but he doesn't look like he was in a fight. Could he have fallen?
That is unlikely. Look, my child. The wound is located at the back of the skull. I regret to say that, in my opinion, he was struck from behind. With a mace, most likely.
Protect me in this battle!
Bit of poison on my... Poison on my blade. And let's go! The body of this man was devoured by beasts, but it happened after he had died. One of the wounds is clearly a knife wound. But alas, it's impossible to know who was wielding it. The cause of death is no mystery. This man was attacked by one of those large reptiles, a Llewellyn. And yet, these iridescent marks on his skin make me think that a stasis spell was cast on him first. He was intentionally immobilized so that he would fall prey to this animal. It seems obvious now that these disappearances were orchestrated.
All these disguised deaths, these abject crimes. The natives can be violent and then deceitful. I'm afraid that Brother Virgil may have found a way to take control of the expedition. He should be judged for it.
Indeed. I think that we should go find this brother and ask for an explanation. Brother, indeed. I'm a...
Could you without come?
But
So I do, as if you
want the love of the lady?
we
I think
don't want.
We should rummage through this area. If someone lived here, it must have been in a drier place.
Ward off this feint! May the shadow engulf our enemies! Let's see if you can ward off this feint! Let's see if you can ward off this feint! May the shadow engulf our enemies! Let's see if you can ward off this feint! Let's see if you can ward off this feint!
cavern. Hermits often choose places like this when they want to live away from the world.
Some people have lived, but we will have to look further.
Magnificent. If St. Matthias did come here, this is where he must have settled.
Let's take a closer look at these paintings. We may learn something from them. This mural is very ancient. It depicts an old man dressed as a priest getting his face painted by a masked native. This mural depicts an old man praying in front of a face in the mountain. He's holding a rosary. Saint Matthias, praying to Enon Miel Frictimen, engraved tablets. They resemble the ones we recovered in Eden. We should take them with us. The researchers would be delighted to study them. I don't know these glyphs, but these spirals are native symbols. There are some words in our ancient language next to them. The light and the earth are the two faces of a same power. It's impossible to know if this is a translation or another sentence. But this is a message that would seriously displease the Inquisitors. There are some native symbols here, and some letters I recognize, as if someone had tried to write in the native language using our alphabet. Men duis dat, enon mil frictimen. This is incredible. Saint Matthias would have known about the spirit of the island and would have prayed to him.
I don't know if this...
I think... We just
And
that is... Look,
you realize so
I see.
It seems we are arriving right on time. You did well to warn us, Brother Virgil. And but
May the enlightened protect me in this battle.
Let's see if you can ward off this.
You can face a woman of... I cannot believe that the...
We would eat...
There is... I will...
Ah,
It must.
but we could.
The cavern. The end. I had. We they in. I
The kiss.
And
I understand it then.
but
I would also.
but I.
You're saying
You surprise. Yet does.
I understand. Yet.
Thank you. After careful consideration, but I look as your.
It was.
Let
Your Eminence, I salute.
Sir,
Your Eminence. Have you?
I
Thank you.
And
I must leave.
naturally, Your Excellency.
Come closer, good people.
Are your boots worn through? Is your hat out of style? Does your vest belong to last year's fashion?
Come closer, good people. Liqueur and wine from the continent. Here from
Good day.
I'm
we should.
well,
Have you?
I
And you and can
I
can.
I should
then
know. What a shame.
we are looking. I do.
Of
My
this
but
only. It is any.
You asked,
That
but
is, I am any.
I need to be going.
Farewell, Desade.
Hello, Glenn.
You're
to tell you that
but
no,
we
you need.
we
I have.
can
I must leave. Goodbye.
Qua awelem seg.
Gave us at the base of the raised stone. Look! The plant seems to be growing extremely fast. The Donegada of Duncas's clan are sure to be here soon to finish breaking the bond.
mighty protect me in this battle!
Poison on my blade. Then let's go!
May the shadow engulf our enemies!
Let's see if you can ward off this fate. Let's see if you can ward off this fate.
May the shadow engulf our enemies!
Let's see if you can ward off this fate.
May the shadow engulf our enemies! May the shadow engulf our enemies!
Let's see if you can ward off this fate. Let's see if you can ward off this fate.
May the shadow engulf our enemies!
Let's see if you can ward off this fate.
May the shadow engulf our enemies!
Let's see if you can ward off this fate. Let's see if you can ward off this fate. Let's see if you can ward off this fate. Let's see if you can ward off this fate.
We can access the stone now and plant it as a seed. Look! The plant seems to be growing extremely fast. The Donegada of Duncas's clan are sure to be here soon to finish breaking the bond.
How are you feeling, my child? What you are about to do is difficult.
Don't make it harder than it has to be, Petrus. Fighting against your cousin isn't pleasant, but it's the only logical thing to do.
A nicer way of saying he has no choice.
Indeed. I must stop Constantine, regardless of what it may cost me. Not only to obtain an antidote to the Malachor, but also to save this island.
We will all be with you. After all, this concerns all of us, doesn't it?
Naturally.
We will be by your side to support you both physically and spiritually.
Thank you. You have been precious allies, and you are proving once more the value of your friendship. Now let's go. It'll be a shame if we arrive too late.
The entrance to the sanctuary has been forced. A fight took place here.
Constantine managed to get through. Let's hurry.
Someone has to stop these creatures, otherwise you'll never reach Constantine. If I can give you just a few more minutes, go now and stop your cousin.
In that case, thank you.
You're alright. We will do, but if
I'm with here.
Then let's go! Boy will make you regret to have come to our island. Boy will make you regret to have come to our island.
we will, but you.
I'm with here.
This is where we must part way.
I wouldn't.
Enough for the tour.
Fine.
What
in?
Protect me in this battle! May the shadow engulf our enemies!
This time it's my turn.
Your help would...
You see? You should go now, my child.
Thank you, Petrus. Be careful. Constantine!
Restrain him!
I do not desire your death. I'm sorry.
Why? Why have you done this?
But for you. For us. So that we may live free at last.
This makes no sense. Constantine, it's madness.
You don't understand because you're still attached to the old world. This old, dying world which, to survive, has betrayed, used, and manipulated us and would not have hesitated to kill us.
Perhaps, but
I've seen death, cousin. And I understood the vanity of it all. My father's ruses just so he could earn more power. The political bowing and scraping to preserve corrupted nations. I have been offered unrivaled power, allowing me to get rid of this. To send the old world back to its inevitable death and to build something new here. Something unique. And this new world is my gift to you. You and I could be its new gods, the immortal and benevolent monarchs.
He himself is the incarnation of the old world he is speaking of. He has its vices and its poison. For his own immortality, he's prepared to destroy everything around him, to break millennia of cycles. I implore you, flesh of my land, think of all the lives that will come to an end to feed his pride.
Don't listen to this old god. He's like all the others, after all, clinging to life. All you have to do is to bind yourself here, with me. And we will be gods together, forever. Come. Oh, what a shame.
Good night, sweet prince.
Once Constantine had fallen, Deirdre kept her promise. She led all the native clans as they managed to drive the invaders off their island. The island found peace again, and nature took over the abandoned cities. But the old nations were plunged into war, and the Malicor grew ever more devastating. Those who bravely fought at Dorhat Genadu were celebrated everywhere. After all, if it weren't for this unlikely alliance, the island would have fallen into Constantine's greedy hands. Afra set aside her weapons and went back to her research on the native culture and flora of the island. It is said that she is even writing a book with the help of Dunkas's clan when not visiting her friends. For his bravery, Vasco was awarded the rank of commander. He now travels the sea at the head of a whole fleet, but he often comes back to visit his brother-in-arms. Petrus's ambitions have finally been fulfilled. He obtained the much-coveted title of Cardinal. Despite the responsibilities implied by such a title, he still sometimes visits the one he calls his child. These precious friendships allowed my student to slowly forget Kurt's treason, even though he still feels bitter about it at times. Siora, who had taken back her role as the Donegad of her clan, convinced them to join the Donea Exregau. Her heart was still full of disappointment for the time she spent in vain alongside a Renaigse. Despite the help Ulan received, which allowed him to restore the importance of the seaside Nemeus, he still had to renounce the role of Marl as he faced the contempt of the other clans. After driving off the settlers, Deirdre started destroying what they had built. She wanted to erase all traces of the Inquisitors and savants who had hurt her people, only keeping what her Karants advised her to keep. Thanks to the help Dunkas's clan received, it continued on its mission to heal the earth. It attracted many young islanders who were eager to learn.
Constantine!
Restrain him! do not desire your death. I'm sorry.
Why? Why have you done this?
But for you. For us. So that we may live free at last.
This makes no sense. Constantine, it's madness.
You don't understand because you're still attached to the old world. This old, dying world which, to survive, has betrayed, used, and manipulated us and would not have hesitated to kill us.
Perhaps, but
I've seen death, cousin. And I understood the vanity of it all. My father's ruses just so he could earn more power. The political bowing and scraping to preserve corrupted nations. I have been offered unrivaled power, allowing me to get rid of this. To send the old world back to its inevitable death and to build something new here. Something unique. And this new world is my gift to you. You and I could be its new gods, the immortal and benevolent monarchs.
He himself is the incarnation of the old world he is speaking of. He has its vices and its poison. For his own immortality, he's prepared to destroy everything around him, to break millennia of cycles. I implore you, flesh of my land, think of all the lives that will come to an end to feed his pride.
Don't listen to this old god. He's like all the others, after all, clinging to life. All you have to do is to bind yourself here, with me. And we will be gods together, forever. Trust me. You won't regret it, cousin.
Who could have predicted, when my two young students left the port of Serene, that they'd become the gods of Teofredi, thus plunging the world into chaos? Certainly not me. So it seems that I am a poor teacher. Amongst those who had tried to prevent the ritual from taking place, only a handful of dazed survivors remained, helplessly facing hordes of creatures following the orders of the two cousins. Afra and Petrus, former rivals, fell together. They couldn't accept this treason from the one they believed in. As for Vasco, he managed to run away and join the Naut fleet. Rumor has it that he went to their island, his heart full of bitterness, and never left it again. As for Siora, it is said that mid-battle, she became a Nardaig to protect Enon Milfrichtimen. But she also fell under the corrupting control of Constantine, and now serves him in her new form. Exiled from the island, all our nations sunk into a state of constant warfare, each accusing the others of being responsible for their terrible defeat. The congregation is now on the verge of falling, and I have no doubt that the others will follow. The lives which haven't been taken by war will be taken by the Malicor. On Teofredi, the Nauts report that nature has reclaimed its rights in the cities. After a period of chaos that saw the death of many rebel islanders, the survivors reportedly all ended up acknowledging the power of the two cousins. But sadly, this is nothing but hearsay. since the news we receive is scarce, and getting even more so.